Here's a hard truth. The man who never rests is not disciplined. He's running from something. Real self-love isn't soft, and it isn't selfish. It's the discipline of taking care of yourself so you have something left to give the people who depend on you. We talk a lot about grit in this house. Training through the pain, showing up when it's easier to quit. But there's a habit that gets skipped by almost every hard-charging operator, every provider, every mentor. And it's the one that makes all the others sustainable. That habit is self-respect. Not indulgence, not excuses, respect. This isn't a soft topic because we're getting sentimental. It's a hard topic because most men in this community were taught the opposite lesson. That self-care is weakness, that rest is laziness, that anything less than constant grinding is a character flaw. That lesson is wrong, and it's expensive. It costs marriages, it costs patience with your kids. Eventually, it costs the very discipline you were trying to protect in the first place. Let's break this down into 5 things you can actually use, starting today. Number 1, talk to yourself the way you talk to someone you're training. If a young recruit made a mistake, would you tell him he's worthless? No. You'd tell him what went wrong, what to fix, and you'd expect him to get back up. Give yourself that same standard. Honest, direct, but not cruel. Self-respect is not the absence of criticism, it's the absence of contempt. Number 2, protect your recovery like it's part of the mission because it is. Sleep, food, quiet time to think. These aren't luxuries for the weak. They're maintenance for the engine that everyone else in your life is relying on. You don't see a jock operator skip equipment checks and call it discipline. Skipping your own recovery is the same failure, just slower to show up. Number 3, set boundaries before you're resentful. A boundary isn't a wall, it's a line that lets you keep showing up without burning out. If you say yes to everything, eventually you'll say yes with nothing left behind it, and the people who need you most will get the worst version of you. Learn to say not right now without guilt. That's not weakness, that's stewardship. Number 4, separate your worth from your output. This one's tough for anyone wired for achievement. You are not what you produce today. You are not your best rep, your best month, your worst mistake. Your worth is fixed. Your performance varies. Confuse the two and you'll either collapse after every failure or become insufferable after every win. Neither builds the kind of man your family can lean on. Number 5, you cannot pour from an empty cup. And pretending otherwise doesn't make you strong, it makes you unreliable. The father who never fills his own tank eventually has nothing left for his kids. The mentor who never rests eventually has nothing left to teach. Filling your cup isn't selfish. It's the whole reason you're able to keep showing up for the people who matter. Here's how this actually plays out day to day. It looks like training hard, then actually resting instead of scrolling until midnight. It looks like admitting when you're overloaded instead of white-knuckling through it and snapping at your family. It looks like accepting a compliment instead of deflecting it, because contempt for yourself is not humility, it's just another form of self-neglect. It looks like forgiving yesterday's version of you, learning the lesson, and moving forward without dragging the weight of it into today.
None of this means lowering your standards. A man who respects himself still shows up early, still keeps his word, still trains when he doesn't feel like it. Self-love done right doesn't cancel discipline. It's what keeps discipline from turning into self-punishment. There's a difference between pushing yourself to grow and grinding yourself down out of some quiet belief that you don't deserve rest until you've earned it through suffering. One builds a man, the other just wears him out faster. This is not about being soft on yourself. It's about being useful for the long haul. The mentor's worth following. The father's worth respecting. The leader's worth trusting. They all have one thing in common. They learn to treat themselves with the same discipline and the same respect they demand from everyone around them. Not more forgiving of others than of themselves. Not harder on themselves than they'd ever be on someone they're training. Just consistent. Just fair. Self-love done right isn't about comfort. It's about capacity. Building the kind of steady, honest relationship with yourself that lets you keep showing up for your family, your team, and the people counting on you to lead. That's the whole point.
You can't build an unshakable life on a foundation you refuse to maintain. If this hit home, you know what to do. Subscribe to Triarii Group for more on discipline, mindset, and leadership that actually holds up under pressure. Drop a comment and tell me which of these 5 you need to work on most. I read every one of them, and I'll see you in the next video.